Hello guys, welcome back to the authentication series part 4, which will be the last part of this series. So we have done our authentication using PHP. Now we will work on PHPMailer to verify our email, and when the user is verified, he can log in directly. So for that we have to open terminal. I'm using Git Bash. You can download the Git Bash from this website. You just have to type the Git bash in search bar, and in this website you will be able to download for Windows, Mac and Linux. So I already installed that. Now I'm gonna check for the Composer version, and you can see I have already installed the Composer. We will be also using Composer dependency for installing PHPMailer, and you can install the Composer from this website. You can just click download and install in your computer. Alright, so I have already installed the Git Bash Composer. Now I'm gonna install the PHPMailer. So you don't see any file here. Now I'm gonna type Composer, require PHPMailer /PHPMailer, and it's gonna install the PHPMailer. As you can see, the file has been downloading, so we just have to wait for a bit. Alright, so it is done. Now you can see in the vendor we have the PHPMailer and all the required components and files. So let me close the terminal, and now we have to create directory inside source. So let's create a folder. Inside library folder, let me create a file mailer.php. Inside this file, we will be working on the mailer code. So let me open the PHP tags. And now we have to connect the PHPMailer with this file. So I'm going to type the path of PHPMailer. So we have connected the PHPMailer instance. And now we have to auto load the PHPMailer. So for that, I'm going to require, let's open directory and concatenate the auto load file. As you can see in the vendor folder, we have the autoload file, so it will execute the PHPMailer automatically. After defining the path, we need a function. So let's create a function. And the function name will be send verification email. And we have to pass some parameters. We are passing three parameters: the email, the name, and the token. Now we have to create the object. So I'm going to create new object PHPMailer. Next, we will create the try and catch statement. And inside try, I'm going to type some comments. Server setting for PHPMailer. Alright, so this is a good time to set up our Mailtrap account. So I'm gonna open the browser and inside search bar I'm gonna type mailtrap.io and I'm gonna log in. I have already created my account, so you just have to create your account, and inside that it's gonna give you dashboard like this, and you have to click my sandbox, and we have all the settings here. So we have the email here. As you can see, this is the test email which I have tested. And if we go to the settings here, you can see that we have PHP and we have different kind of frameworks and libraries. So I'm gonna select PHPMailer and we have that code. So I'm gonna copy this and let's get back to the code. I'm gonna paste that here. Now we have to change the variable according to our coding. So I'm gonna change all the PHPMailer to mail. Perfect. So we have all the data which we will be using for sending email. And after that, let me remove this line because we already created that. Now we will move forward to the remaining code. So here I'm going to create mail variable and get the function set from. I'm going to type the email. You can type any kind of email here. Then we will pass the project name, which will be your website name. Now next we will pass the address. So I'm going to get the address function. Here we will type the variable to email and to name. So we are passing two parameters in the address. Now in the email content, we will create the verification link. So I'm going to declare the variable verify URL and assign that. We are using local server, so that's why I put the local host. If your website is live, you can type the domain name. Then we will pass the verification token to verify.php, which we did not create it yet, but we will create that later. In the URL encode, we will pass the token. Now we will get the function is HTML true. Then we will pass the subject. So what subject will be verify your account. In the body, we will assign some HTML format, which will be our email format. So I'm going to create that real quick. We are passing the name. We create a paragraph. After the information, we should have the anchor tag. Inside this href, we will pass the verify URL. So using this link, we can verify our user. In the alt body, we will also pass name and with the message, please verify your account with verify link. Alright, so for the email format, we are done. Now we have to send this email. So for that, I'm gonna execute a function send. And in return, we need some message. So it's gonna be true. Now inside the get statement, if the email did not successfully send, then it's gonna give us the exception. And it's gonna return mailer error with the mailer message. It's gonna display us the error info. So what is causing not to sending the email? All right, so far everything looks good here. So I'm gonna review everything once again. Everything looks fine. So the next thing what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the action inside register.php. We need to execute that function. So when the user create account, it should get the email. So after inserting the user, let's create after the insertion of user information. So I'm going to create a comment here. And then we will execute that function. But before executing that function, we should connect that file. Right, perfect. So the file is connected. Now we have to execute and get the result from that function. So we are calling this function exactly here. Then we have to pass the parameters because this function required parameters. So we have 3 parameters. Let's pass that. Then after that, it's gonna give us either true or false. So we have to check for that. And for that, we need if else statement. So if the result is true, then execute this message. Let me create another one and bring down here. In the else, it's gonna execute the message registration successful, but email could not be sent, and we need that error in the result. After that, we should have a page to verify our users. So in the URL, we define the verify.php. So we're gonna create this file. In the public directory, we will create that file. Verify.php. Now inside this verify.php, we have to verify that user. So I'm gonna copy this line and I'm gonna paste that here. Now our database is connected. Let's add the source because it is in the source folder. Now let's create if statement is set global variable get token. So if we have the token, it's gonna get the token from the global variable. Then we need a statement. We will pass the SQL select ID from users table where verification token is equal to the token which is provided in the global variable and the user is not verified. So the zero means the user is not verified and the ones mean the user is verified. So we're gonna get the unverified user and then we will execute that statement. And after that, if we find that user in database, we will update the information of that user. So update users table and set verified equals to 1. So now the user is verified and we will also null the verification token. Then execute this query. And after that, echo this message. Your account has been verified. You can now log in with the link which will redirect users to login.html so he can log in from that form. And if it is failed, it's gonna give us the error invalid or expired verification link. Alright, so what we are doing, we are getting that user which is unverified, we are making it verified here. Then we need the final else. And it's gonna display no token provided. And let me close this. So now we are done for the verify.php. Now we have to test this in a browser. So we have the Mailtrap and let me refresh this. Let's create account. So I'm going to create a new account. Let me give a password and let's do the same. Now let me click create. Email already registered. So that email is already registered. Let's see. Yeah, we have already that email. So now let's create another one. Let's go back. and try another one. And we got the error. So it is not sending the email somehow. So let's check that. Let's open the code and let's add this line here. Let me let me delete all the records from here. And now let's try again. Let's create, and we still getting the same error. So now let's put the this line timeout 15 seconds so we can see the error, what is happening here. Let's try with another account. And we got the error again. I don't know, somehow the firewall is blocking the port number, so I think we should change the port number and try that again. So let's do that. Now I have changed the port number and now I'm gonna try this again. So let's register. Create, and it's loading. And yeah, it is working perfectly. So registration successful. Please check your email. If we go to Mailtrap, refresh, we got that email here. Now from here we can verify this user. So we have all the format here. We have the verification link, and when I click here, it's gonna redirect, but we got the error. Let's debug this error. Why we are getting this error? Unknown colon. I think we have spelling mistake here. Yeah, let's check. Let's go to verify.php, and yeah, we have the spelling mistake. So that's how one spelling mistake can lead to big errors. Now let me remove everything from the table so we can start again. Perfect. Let's create the user again. And perfect, it is working perfectly. Now let's verify that user. We have everything perfectly working. So let's click. As you can see, we have the same URL which we created with the token. Now we have verified user, so we can log in. So I'm gonna log in that user, sign in, and it's not working again. We are getting data in the URL, so something is wrong with the form. Let's try again. And now we can log in. So let's fix this error. Let's go to the login.php, and first of all we have to uncomment this so we can check for verify email. Then after that we have to change this class in the login.html. So I think it will work fine for this time. Let's log in, sign in, and you can see we can directly sign in our verified users. Alright, so we fix all the errors. Now we have to check for final review. So I'm gonna remove everything and test everything from the start. So let's create new user, and you can see it is working perfectly. We got the email. Now we have to verify that user. So the user has been verified. Now we have to log in. Click sign in, and perfectly it is working. So I hope you will like this tutorial. If you like, please make sure to subscribe our channel for more amazing tutorials, and I will see you in the next video.